Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Can't believe it's already 2019. Amazing. I hope everyone had a safe, happy New Year. I am today all about, like everyone else this time of year, focusing on strategies for success around goal making. I'm more in the belief that setting goals need to be something that's more natural and more fluid, because we have a tendency to set these goals like trying to lose 15 to 20 pounds and turning around, good morning, and turning around and having a hard time maintaining that goal. And a lot of us know that by setting small goals we achieve the bigger goal. So with that in mind, and we all know how much I love self-reliance strategies, I am going to share with you 3 that I have kind of tweaked from what I use in my everyday practice. Most of you may know where I suggest what you do and why you do it, and is it working for you. So I'm kind of spinning a little twist on that concept. So, Happy New Year to you too. Wanted to kind of give a twist to that kind of system, and today I wanted to kind of approach that from a different process, where we kind of go back and reflect on the past. So in order to kind of set goals up properly, I always feel like we need to do pre-work. And that pre-work is going to be reflecting, collecting, and setting. So let's go right into it. Starting off with, when we reflect, we want to, again, go into that contemplative state, as I always talk about, and not go into the internal judgment and start to bully ourselves and look at it with shame. We want to kind of reflect and go, wow, this was a year of accomplishments, a year of successes, and we want to see whether what we had done in the past worked and how we feel about it. If it didn't work, you may have negative feelings around that, which I'd like you to kind of shelf the negative feelings, because this is all about potential and growth. We want to acknowledge the fact that the feelings of sadness around that issue happen, but you want to really kind of set the momentum for change. And I'm talking about a natural change, not a forced change here. So we really want to be mindful of setting a clear path to what was working and what didn't work, so we have great proper discernment between the two. The next one is to really kind of collect the information, write it out, observe what did you learn and how you feel about what you learned, and then go more into that self-compassion and contemplation, where we're giving ourselves the grace to have the mistakes and really give us a sense of success by being compassionate to ourselves around that issue. So we really want to expand on that. Great, I'm glad it was a good year for you. Very exciting. I love that you guys are chiming in. Thank you, keep it going. So definitely want to keep the momentum around that. Now I suggest journaling. I know a lot of people are big on journaling. I've found huge success in keeping track of my own mental goals and accomplishments. I truly believe by writing it, you start to embody action more, because the more you stimulate all your senses, the more you're going to embody it and have it a part of your belief system. So making sure you do journal, it kind of helps kind of do that in a different way, a different momentum. Also, moving forward, when we set these goals, we want it to be a natural change versus a forced change. Quite often we want big things for ourselves, and that's a beautiful thing. Go ahead and make a list of those too. But make sure that you set the tone for a successful mindset and not put yourself into high goals of expectation that are so short term that you don't have a stage for success. So really taking microscopic steps along to getting to that bigger goal is a lot bigger success, because we have smaller markers to kind of prove that we're on the right track, and we can modify as we go. And awareness, of course, is key to success. If you're not aware of whether you're on track with your goals or your aspirations, you will actually start to recognize that you're hitting some self-defeating talk, and you'll start to say, well, it's never going to happen, or you start the momentum of negative thinking. I see that with a lot of my clients that are working on nutrition or diet or weight loss. They'll start watching that scale, and they'll have a goal of losing X amount of weight, and then before they know it, they haven't attained that goal. and then they're starting to do the negative talk and start saying, what's the point? So you really want to kind of look at the big picture, take a step back and not focus on one aspect, but the overall. That's why I think it's so important to look back at the past year and see things that have worked for you and things that maybe didn't work for you. Kind of helps you build the momentum. And recognizing to your ebb and flow in life that sometimes we have to go down to see our successes, because if we're always in a high, we can't really connect to that level, and we don't recognize the change. We need that kind of that contrast to really kind of give us clarity. So it's very important to have that momentum properly acknowledged and seen. So let's go over the 3 nuggets that I wanted to give you specifically. This is actually I think it's actually a study that's called implementation intention. I know, I wanted to make sure I didn't say that wrong. It sounds like a tongue tire for me, so I wanted to make sure I didn't say it wrong. So I wrote it down. So anyway, the reason it works is because we're actually putting down mindful intentions. So these 3 questions, if you're really focusing on them, will actually send forward a proper momentum. So what are you doing? What's the goal? What do you want? Then how are you going to achieve the goal? And when are you going to accomplish it? When you put those 3 elements into your hyper focus or your mindful mindset, you can actually shift your perspective, and you can start to really focus on the momentum of success versus what's not working. So again, it's always making sure of what you are going to do, how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it. I think of this I kind of do this on a daily goal, and sometimes I'll do it on a weekly goal, and sometimes a monthly. And the reason I do that is I set myself up for small accomplishments within the day, and then I can build the momentum to making it to my weekly goal, so that you can see it's like you take small little stacks to build to the next level, and then by those weekly goals being hit, you'll reach your monthly goals, and you start that momentum, and it really perpetuates the cycle of success. And I wanted you to really acknowledge that. And if you do get a chance to look up that actual concept, it's called implementation of intention. It's I think a lot of people have heard it also called the if-then plan. It was an actual philosopher who came up with, or psychologist, sorry, not a philosopher, my bad. Peter, I'm not going to even say it, Gollwitzer. And if you look him up, he's kind of interesting. A lot of the things that he's kind of invested into that study is really fascinating. He did a whole project on it, so it's really, really cool. And it gives you a chance to kind of understand that the reason we need these formats of success, it kind of is actions over time, proves confidence, and we start to build momentum from that. So continuing that cycle does inevitably build your self-confidence and your self-esteem. So you start to really shift and see things in a more abundant way instead of the story of lack. So emotionally, which is my favorite world, it kind of perpetuates the momentum of success and sends you on a new direction. So not only achieving your goals, but you're also changing your attitude and your self-confidence and how you show up in the world. So I hope this helps today, and if it really does, go ahead and say something down below. Let's say let's say the reflect would be a great one today. Really putting yourself into a space of accomplishment and success by looking back in your past for the reflection and seeing what worked and what didn't work does set you up for success. Just don't sit there too long, and definitely don't dwell. Really focus on natural change and not staying stuck in that belief of forced change. Forced change is that constant resistance of what is. Natural change is that acceptance to what's going on and giving you the great potential to have abundance in your life. Hope you all have a wonderful start to the new year, and I'll see you guys next week.